On today's show, we've all heard about renting a room by the day, but how about by the minute? A couple of startups want you to rent your house out by the minute to people who just need a quick nap or maybe a shower. Yes, really. And a couple of museums are trying out artificial intelligence to boost attendance. One features a robot that will take selfies, and the other, a video of a famous 20th century painter who says, "I don't believe in my own death." Can you guess who? Well, I'll tell you. And from our Dumb Criminals file, this is a good one. A guy robs a bank and uses a scooter to get away, only he forgot one little thing. I'll tell you all about it. And how's your Wi-Fi at home? Not getting all the coverage that you need? Well, we're going to walk you through a checklist of things that you can do yourself to fix that home Wi-Fi for good. All this plus more, and of course, your calls. Well, let's start the show talking about your personal data, tracking and data mining. Here's a fun fact for you. Facebook can classify roughly 52,000 traits of each of its users. Did you even realize that you had 52,000 different traits? Well, we all know that these big tech companies are making big money off of all of our data. So you might be thinking, hey, it's my data, where's my cut? Well, that's what one firm is trying to set up by launching what they're calling an ethical platform where you can sell your own information and get paid for it. Digi.me is partnering with Washington-based UBDI, and that stands for Universal Basic Data Income. Now, that company already allows people to sell their own data for market research, and their new app will share anonymized, or so they say, insights from the data that you choose to share with them. But it digs deep, including data on what you buy, what you watch, what you listen to, your social media activity, your medical history, just about anything you can think of. Now, you're not going to get rich. They just don't hand over cash whenever you hand over every little detail about your life. They use something similar to Bitcoin to give you a stake in the money generated from the data. Now, your data is much more valuable than what you'll actually make off of it, but at least you have a choice. In this case, unlike Google or Facebook, which either flat out sells your data or just loses it to hackers. Now, it's not something I would do, but I can see the side that says, hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Next up, some Apple news. For starters, a big security flaw in FaceTime made the headlines. A bug let people listen in on the person they were calling using FaceTime even before that person answered. Yep, they could hear you say, "Oh man, I don't want to FaceTime them." All right, here's how it worked. When you started a FaceTime call, if you swiped up while the call was still ringing and select add a person and then pick your own number, the bug would automatically connect you to the other person, even if they didn't answer or accept the call. And get this, if the person on the other end tried to reject the call, the one calling could not only hear the audio, but would also see up to a few seconds of live video from that phone's front-facing camera. Yeah, that was some bug. This is interesting. A 14-year-old kid actually discovered the problem weeks ago while playing Fortnite and setting up a group gaming session. And the face palm fallout continues. A Houston attorney is suing Apple, saying the FaceTime bug allowed the recording of a private deposition with a client. So to be on the safe side, if you get a FaceTime call from someone who you don't want to talk to, treat it like, well, they're at your front door. Just sit still and be very quiet, and maybe it'll just go away. One big reason for slowing smartphone sales is that there's not much new. My new iPhone looks and works like my old iPhone. This year, it may be different thanks to phones with foldable or flexible screens. And for starters, the folding phone that Samsung has been talking about for years is finally ready to be released. And a startup company's foldable phone is already on the market, with other companies set to release their own versions this year. Even the iconic phone from the mid-2000s, that's right, the Motorola Razr, is being reborn as a flip phone with a foldable screen. And aside from phones, TV manufacturers are getting in on the craze too, building screens that roll up. Hey, it's kind of a trend right now. But what you probably haven't heard about yet is a flexible screen that you can wear. That's right, enter a Chinese company called Nubia that has a new wristband with a flexible screen. And it could debut as soon as next month at the Mobile World Congress event in Spain. Nubia's CEO even posted a teaser with an image that looks like a metallic band with a long screen and a camera. But it will steal all the thunder from the foldable phones? Well, only time will tell, as in time you can check on your flex screen wristband. There have always been those hotel rooms, usually in the bad part of town or near the airport, that you can rent by an hour for a nap, right? Well, today you have a lot more options for places to stay. We all know about renting a house or a room by the night, say through Airbnb or VRBO. A few years ago, though, a California startup created an app called Recharge. Similar sites have popped up, like by hours and day use. It's the new and upcoming way to rent people's houses by the hour or the minute. Think of all the money you can make while you're at work all day, or how you can use it. Maybe you just need a quick power nap, or maybe a shower, which that seems a little strange to me. You can actually do that. Recharge already works with about 50 hotels, and they've got over 1,000 homes available to stay in San Francisco, LA, and New York City. Another company with similar rooms by the hour kind of service is called Hourly Spaces, where you can book short amounts of times in homes in nearly 200 countries. I don't think I can use this service. I mean, I've never seen someone at Costco and thought, yeah, I could take a shower at your house. I think it's safe to say that the majority of us have taken a selfie or two, maybe more than two. And there are the selfies that you use filters with, so you can have puppy ears or neon glasses, maybe that scruffy beard, or the pretty filter. Hey, the pretty filter doesn't warp your face or make you vomit rainbows. It actually makes you look as pretty as possible by removing dark spots and blemishes. And some people like how they look in a filtered selfie so much that they're taking those pictures to plastic surgeons, and then they're asking the doctors to make them look like that in real life. One doctor said clients have even come in with Snapchat filtered selfies wanting some pretty serious modifications, like having their eyes enlarged. It even has a clinical name, Snapchat dysmorphia, because these filtered images are blurring the lines of fantasy and reality. Now, to my knowledge, though, no one's approached a plastic surgeon asking to add a rabbit nose and ears, but I'm sure it won't be long. Remember what your mom would say: if you're not careful, your face will freeze that way. And finally, if you're going to rob a bank, you might want to put a little bit more thought into your getaway than this guy and know a few things about technology. According to news reports, a man walked into a bank in Austin, Texas, and handed a note to one of the tellers with the usual money demands. And once he had the cash, he left the bank and sped away on one of those rented electric jump scooters. Yes, he sped away as in 6 miles per hour. Now, police know this was his getaway method because of all their surveillance cameras outside the bank. Banks have a lot of cameras. Little fun fact there. But here's the thing. You can't just pick up one of these jump scooters and take off. You have to have an account with a credit card on file to use one. And this criminal mastermind had an account with his real information, so it didn't take long for the police to figure out who he was. Now, they did have a little help from Uber because they actually own Jump. And once Uber handed over the guy's name and address, along with the scooter's location, because it has the GPS built in, police showed up at his apartment where, in yet another brilliant move, he left the scooter outside and he was arrested. He might think about canceling that Jump account. It doesn't sound like he'll be using it anytime soon. All right, so this is the Kim Komando TV show. There's also the Kim Komando radio show, and you can find it on over 400 top stations from coast to coast and around the globe on American Forces Network Radio. And because it's a national radio show, a big part of the show are all of your phone calls. And we have Andrew Babinski, and he takes our calls every single week. And he's the best man that we could find for the job. And are you still an intern, Andrew, or are we working past that?
I think officially we're still running with the I'm an intern bit.
So, and how many years?
16.
Well, we ought to do that performance appraisal because I'm feeling like maybe this is the year. 2019, Andrew.
I never do this. I never take advantage of you being the digital goddess. Okay. But I need you to help me find one piece of technology, just one, that's not trying to steal all my information and spy on me all the time. Just one.
Just one?
My smartphone, my home device.
Your paper towels, they don't spy. I mean, they're not smart.
I don't have any tech towels yet.
No,
At this rate, there is zero chance I'm ever going to buy a smart toilet.
They have those, you know.
I'm not buying
It's
them.
all Alexa enabled.
You don't want to
smart
spy on
toilets
that.
there. Hey, coming up, we're going to take your phone calls, and I'll give you 10 ways to fix your home Wi-Fi for good next here on Komando.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup weed killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
I was at a point in my life where I knew something was missing.
I wanted to try to find someone that wanted to experience life together.
My matchmaker was awesome. She asked me a lot of questions that were driven to get to know me better, what my likes were, what my dislikes were.
With over 25 years of experience and millions of matches arranged, It's Just Lunch is the world's #1 personalized matchmaking service.
So I loved working with my matchmaker. I would give feedback after every date.
I'm a busy man. I own my own business. It's Just Lunch set everything up. They set up the restaurant, they set up the date. They made it simple. I am so glad I met this amazing woman.
Because It's Just Lunch believes that meeting face to face is the best way to tell if there's true chemistry. We guarantee you'll go on dates.
I went to It's Just Lunch, and it's Lori and a whole lot more.
Find out what our matchmakers can do for you. Call 1-800-756-0949 or visit itsjustlunch.com. It's just lunch, but imagine the possibilities.
Of course, the phone lines are open. 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And as always, we have our incredible call screener, the most amazing guy ever.
What's going on?
I was trying to really build you up.
This is making me feel uncomfortable.
You have told me that I don't give you enough positive affirmation. So I was really trying to make up for the times that I told you were dumb and you missed a call. Right. And, and why couldn't you be like the other call screeners who were so much better than you?
Right. I take it all back because that just makes me feel uncomfortable. Let's return to our previous relationship.
All right. Here's the crappiest call screener ever. Andrew Babinski.
Thank you.
Yes.
Kim, we're going to start with Derby in Los Angeles. I never thought that this radio show would return to this topic. Derby wants to get in the ringtone business.
Well, he's in Los Angeles.
The ringtone business.
The music capital of the world.
Ringtones.
Okay.
When your phone rings and a song plays.
Okay.
He wants to know if you can tell him, because he's heard people do it. They make money with ringtones.
Yes.
I had no idea ringtones even existed. I didn't even know how to put a ringtone on my phone. And I know a lot about my phone.
You did some research on this.
I did. Once we took his call, I went and did some research on ringtones.
Okay, so what did the sales look like?
$34 million in 2017. Obviously, we don't have 2018's numbers yet because it's too early in the year. Down 30% from the previous year. Down 97% from the all-time high when ringtones brought in over $1 billion.
Wow. Maybe Derby's onto something. So, Derby, where did you come up with the ringtone idea?
So what happens is start wanting a ringtone. I look for it. I can't find it, so I just make it myself. And then somebody hears me, hey, where'd you get that from? Well, I made it. I was like, how did you make it? And then I kind of go through it, and they're like, sounds like too much work. Can you do it for me? Okay, sure. Then my family wants one, and then, somebody else wants one. And then I'm thinking, if I go online, there's in the app store and the tone store, there's still people paying $1 for a ringtone. I'm like, there's got to be money out there to be made. And I start looking on how to do it, and there's a ton of money to be made still. But it's like to get into that business, I've got to kind of piggyback with another company that already does it, and then they're only going to give me a little bit.
Let's start the basics, though. So is this music that you've created?
Sometimes it's just something crazy I've heard, and I will make a copy of the sound, just recording something in a outside anywhere, and then or it's a clip from a sound that was in a movie, and then I realize we might be getting into some copyright things. So if I want to do a piece of a song, if it's in the public domain, is that okay? I just don't know what the rules are.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking about before, I mean, it's definitely on the decline. Okay. Right. I mean, you're looking at $1 billion in 2010. Here we are 10 years later. It's at $34 million, which if you think of everybody in the universe that has a phone, okay?
Right.
That's really not a lot of money, $34 million. So if you want to try it as a hobby, I think it's great. But if it's something that you're like, I'm going to quit my day job and I'm going to say, Derby, I don't want you living under the 405 freeway, okay?
Right.
That's just not going to happen. And I don't mean to dissuade you, but all the top ringtones are put out by the record companies.
Oh, okay.
So, because they have all the existing relationships. And so, you know, the steps to create the ringtone and then, of course, you have the sample rate and everything that you need to put in there. And I mean, maybe if you can come up with something unique, but I definitely wouldn't use any part of any movie, any score, anything that you've heard of before. These have to be original releases. Now, I volunteered the use of my voice but as a ringtone. But Andrew, you didn't seem very excited about that.
No, I wasn't. I hear you once a week during the Kim Komando Show, and during the podcast during the week. And I think that's enough. I think I'm good. I'm good on that front. But thank you.
You know, it hurts my heart.
I'm sure Derby would love your voice.
Would you, Derby?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Kim.
Okay. You know what? He's lying too. Okay.
Oh no. Derby, your phone's ringing. It's Kim. Pick up your phone. That would be great, Kim. I think everybody would want that.
I'm sure. Okay.
Thank you so much, Kim, for your time.
Well,
I'm going to play the womp womp.
Yeah, well, Derby, you know what? When next time you have a good business idea, you give us a call, and I promise that we'll give it a better shake, Andrew, do you think?
Definitely going to be better than ringtones.
That would be it. Thanks, Derby. Here at the Kim Komando Show, we have a lot of data that needs to be stored. We use Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. When most enterprises think of cloud storage, they think of companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. This is a costly mistake. Sure, companies like Microsoft and Amazon, they've been doing it for a long time. But that's exactly the problem. Their technology is last generation. Wasabi is next generation cloud storage that's 80% cheaper and up to 6 times faster than the better known brands. Unlike Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, data storage is all that Wasabi does, and they're experts in it. It's their passion. They truly understand the needs of the enterprise, so they don't have things like egress fees. Companies don't know at the start of the year how much they're going to need to access their storage, so if they're getting charged to get their data back, it makes it impossible to budget. So Wasabi just doesn't have those fees. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com. That's wasabi.com. Back to the phones we go and talk to Aaron in Ellsworth, Kansas. Hi there, Aaron.
Well, I had a question about Google Maps for you. As a truck driver, I rely a lot on GPS, and my PeopleNet system that I use is kind of out of dated, and it doesn't show a lot of the new roads or stuff like that. So when I go to Google Maps, when I'm in a big city to make a delivery, Google Maps will actually send me down roads that I'm not allowed to drive on.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No commercial traffic. And I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money on an app or on a GPS system, and I was curious if you knew of something that would work for commercial drivers.
Well, I have some dear friends of mine, Jackie and Hal. As a matter of fact, we just did a podcast with them this past week. I think that will be out in a couple of weeks. They drive a 45-foot RV, and they have a 30-foot trailer behind it. Okay, that's a big rig, right? Okay, and we were talking about the same thing, that they were saying, you know, that they've basically abandoned Google Maps because there's really no quote-unquote truck mode. Okay, and so in order for you to actually feel confident that this route that you are going to take with this big rig winding through San Francisco in their case, or I don't know, St. Louis or wherever you may be, okay, that you're not going to run into a situation where it's not a commercial road, or if you get stuck, you can't turn around. Okay. So a couple of apps that you might want to check out. One is called Copilot GPS Navigation. So what I'm recommending is you get rid of, don't count on Google Maps when it comes time for the city routes. And with this co-pilot GPS navigation, it has truck safe navigation. It's also, with my friends, the RVers, is that they like it because they know that they're going to be able to get this RV in various places. There's also another one, though, that's really made for truckers, and that's SyGIC, and that's SYGIC, okay? Then what's nice about it is that you can actually punch in your truck's specifications and parameters. And so it takes that into consideration. It also has trucker points of interest. So if you've got to get weighed or whatever it may be, you could also set multiple waypoints. So if you have to go to certain places to make deliveries, you know what I'm saying. So that one actually might be better for you. In addition to that, it also does offline navigation. So if for some reason you're not connected to a cell signal, going through a tunnel or whatever it may be, is that you're not sitting there going, okay, now what? Okay. So I'll put links to both of these over at komando.com. And once you get there, Aaron, there's a button right in the middle that says Show Pick. So if you go there and click that button, is that you'll see a couple of links to these really trucker-oriented, RV-oriented. So if you have an RV, you definitely want to check these out too, that I think is better suited for you than Google Maps. But coming up, Panasonic has a new smart lamp, and it could be watching you. I'll tell you how here on Komando. Like many other companies, we create a lot of data, and all that data needs to be stored somewhere safe. It was starting to get pretty expensive, and then we discovered Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. It's so affordable, it blows away all other forms of cloud storage. Less than just the annual maintenance cost of on-site storage. Wasabi is at least 80% less expensive than Amazon S3, with no charges for API requests. Wasabi's lightning fast. On average, it's 6 times faster than Amazon S3. When we need to retrieve a show from storage, it's almost instant. Unlike other companies, they don't charge me to get my own data. We don't have to guess what we'll be spending on storage each year. Because it's so fast and cheap, they have just one tier of service. Compare that to Amazon's S3, which you need a PhD in cloud storage to figure out what tiers to use and when. Wasabi's been a game changer for us. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has officially authorized new benefits Medicare Advantage plans may include. Plans may now include private home aids and rides to medical appointments. Most plans also include dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. To get the benefits you deserve, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and they instantly advised me that I wasn't getting all the benefits I deserve. They explained I could get a plan that includes dental and prescription coverage, as well as the new coverage for private home aids and rides to medical appointments. If you want to find out what you deserve, call the number on your screen now. It's free. You'll be happy you called, I guarantee it.
Call to see if you can save money and get more benefits now. Don't delay. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-811-8680. That's 1-800-811-8680.
Let me ask you a question. How many apps do you actually have on your phone? I counted. I have 96 apps on my phone. How many apps do you have on your phone?
124.
120. Are they all yours?
No. About 80% of them are my son's games.
Okay. All right, so 120.
Because he downloads anything.
And you let him?
Well, yeah.
Of course you do.
I just recently had to take his fingerprint off the phone because he was buying too many in-game purchases, and my wife was yelling at me.
So how much has he racked up?
It was like a $3 charge and then a $5.99 charge.
That's
and then
how it starts.
She was like, take the fingerprint off the phone.
Were you okay with that?
Yeah, because he knows the password, so it's fine.
Dad of the Year award. I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk about some of the great apps that we have on our phones. How many apps do you actually use?
Probably 7. One of my favorites is called Enlight. It's basically Photoshop on your phone. For my niece's 9th birthday, I put up my phone on a tripod. Actually, not even a tripod. I put it on a laundry basket and set a pillow in front of it.
That's class.
Thank you. And I took 9 photos of her in 9 different poses, in 9 different outfits, in the same room. Then using the Enlight app, I mixed them all together so that and it looks like I professionally photoshopped it, and I did the whole thing on my iPhone.
Okay, so this past week, I asked my mother to give me 12 to 15 pictures of her.
Okay.
Or herself, because we're throwing her a big birthday party. Well, how am I going to do that? You know, because she has that Brooklyn accent.
Sure.
And I said, well, here, give me your phone. And I said, I'm going to put a photo app on it called PhotoScan. Have you ever used PhotoScan?
No.
Okay. PhotoScan is really terrific. It's free from Google. And basically, if you have photos inside of a photo album or inside of a picture frame, is that you take 5 individual pictures of that particular photo, and then artificial intelligence will pull them all together and to make one really great shot.
Another one that we use pretty much every weekend, there's an app called Just Watch.
Oh my gosh, I love Just Watch.
I am a searcher where I'll sit there on Netflix for 20 minutes.
It's so frustrating.
Oh, it drives my wife insane. But with Just Watch, let's say we wanted to watch a superhero movie or Ace Ventura 2. Last weekend, we wanted to watch Ace Ventura 2, see if a movie that old still was funny. Went on Just Watch, we knew exactly where it was streaming for free. It tells you where it streams, it tells you where you can rent it and watch it.
What's another one you like?
I like Yumly. There's a lot of recipe and cooking apps. I think 1 billion of them. But what I like about Yumly is, A, you can find recipes from all around the internet, not just ones that are in the app. They'll find them anywhere. Then when you find it in the Yumly app, you can save it to if it's an entree, if it's an appetizer, wherever. But the coolest part is they give you the grocery list.
Google Trips.
Never used Google Trips.
I like Google Trips because it consolidates all of your travel stuff into one area. So when you need the hotel reservation number, the car rental number, whatever it may be, and then also mobile passport. You've heard me talk about that before. And if you've never heard of mobile passport, is that if you do any type of international travel, this is a must-have, so that when you come back into the United States, you can go ahead and fill out the paper forms. You get faster processing. You don't have to stand in line with everybody else because you get like a special QR code. And then you go to the mobile passport line. The last time we came back in from Heathrow on British Airways, on one line there was like, I don't know, 895 people. And on the mobile passport line, it was me and 2 others. Nice.
So when we were preparing to do this segment, I saw that I had 124 apps, but yet I didn't delete any of them.
Time to purge.
I think so.
Time to like cleanse.
I think I'm going to try to get under 120. I can delete 4 apps. I can make this happen.
Coming up, I'm going to tell you about a couple of museums that are trying out artificial intelligence to boost attendance. Next on Komando. And before we go back to all of your phone calls, some interesting items that crossed my screen that you need to know about. First of which is, are you ready for this particular vehicle? Because they say that anybody, that's right, anybody, that could be you, it could be your neighbor, maybe even your mom or dad, that anybody can fly this particular airplane. Because you've probably seen the inside of a cockpit, right? Commercial or private. There are enough displays, switches, and instruments to make your head spin. But there's now a new plane out there that was designed to be simple enough for anyone to fly. That's right. It looks like a car's dashboard. It's called the Icon A5. It's a single-engine sport aircraft simplified display that combines multiple flight indicators. It's called the angle of attack indicator, as long as you keep it in the green zone. Okay, so it's supposed to be pretty easy. That includes takeoffs and landings, even on water. So it's pretty high tech. It says it can't spiral out of control during a stall. So you're still supposed to log a little bit of flight time before you're certified to fly the A5, but it's nowhere near as the training required to, say, become a pilot or to use any other aircraft. I'll tell you, I look at it, it looks like a Volkswagen on wheels, and it's a little frightening to me, but if it gets me out of rush hour, I just may be able to handle that one. All right, anytime you're online, you have to be on the lookout for crooks and bad actors trying to take advantage of you. A lot of people on the internet are just plain meanie pants. Well, that's what one young boy, his siblings, and his mother learned the hard way. Listen to this. A video was uploaded to Twitch, that's the streaming platform, showing a boy and his siblings basically destroying what's described as a brand new personal computer, desktop computer, in a bathtub. Wait, why would anybody do that? Well, a commenter on Twitch was pretending to be someone called Mr. Beast, who's known online for his charity. Well, anyway, the imposter told the boy that if he destroyed his current PC, which cost $1,200, that he would get a $5,000 replacement from a sponsor. Nothing strange there. Meanwhile, his mother is filming the whole thing while they soak the computer in the tub. Then they start hitting it with a baseball bat and a machete. Then they found out it was all for naught, that they just had thrown away. They've just destroyed a $1,200 new computer. Now, not everybody's so trusting. People on Reddit are saying that the boy and his mom are just trying to scam their way out of a new computer. But a good rule of thumb is be wary of anyone on the internet. You don't know who's asking you to destroy your own property. I don't know if you remember last year, but people were being duped into drilling holes into their new iPhones to find the hidden headphone jack. I don't know if you remember that. Spoiler alert, it didn't exist. So you have a pair of Apple AirPods. All right, then you know how tiny they are, and you're probably aware of just how easy they are to be misplaced. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how many times that I've lost my AirPods. It's just embarrassing at this point. Well, one woman has come up with an ingenious way to keep her AirPods from going missing. And honestly, I can't believe this hasn't been a thing before now. Gabrielle Riley is a 22-year-old paralegal in Virginia. She's turned her AirPods into earrings that she's calling Air Rings. Get it? Her creation has gone viral, $20 a pair. You can now pre-order. She's selling them like crazy online. You can even choose the length. Apple says AirPods are its most popular accessory ever, and they hope to replicate the success with more expensive, easy-to-lose products shortly. But don't forget, Apple AirPods aren't just a fashion statement, and they're not just wireless earbuds for your music and podcasts. They also can provide a service for the hearing impaired and also for the spy inspired. What? Did you say spy inspired? Yes, I did. There's a feature there called Live Listen. It lets you use your iPhone's microphone to hear someone better who's talking to you. It reduces the surrounding noise. It cranks up the volume. It delivers enhanced audio right into your ears. But with iOS 12 that was released last fall, Live Listen was expanded to work the same way on AirPods. So all you have to do is power on your AirPods, pick up your iPhone, tap the icon that looks like an ear, and then Live Listen. Once you turn it on, you can hear the audio from your iPhone's mic coming directly into your AirPods. Okay, are you ready for the sneaky part? It can be used as a tool to spy. So let's say someone with an iPhone and AirPods wants to eavesdrop on a private conversation. All they have to do is enable this Live Listen, leave their iPhone somewhere near the conversation, then go pick a place to listen. Doesn't have to be right next door. The AirPods work up to 50 feet from an iPhone and through walls. Now you know. All right, looks like a pretty big yard to mow, so maybe you could use a robot's help. iRobot, the company that makes the Roomba robotic vacuum that's been keeping your floors clean for years, is now venturing into the great outdoors. It's called Terra. Okay, a robotic mower isn't groundbreaking, but iRobot's mower is coming with the mapping technology that they use in the vacuum. So this way you don't have to set up boundary wires to keep the mower from wandering off into the pool like you do the others. And like the Roomba, you can set it up with a schedule, customize it. No price yet. It should ship this year. But I don't know if you remember, but back in 2016, a guy in Arkansas by the name of Jesse Newton, it went viral on Facebook when he told the tragic tale about his Roomba's encounter with dog poop and the mess that consumed his house as it drug the poop from room to room to room to room to room. So hopefully Roomba has gotten the poop complex part figured out. All right, now I'm just guessing, throwing it out there. You probably know somebody, maybe close to you, well, who keeps you up at night because they snore. Oh, shocker, you do? Yes, well, new technology is saying those days are over thanks to a new high-tech pillow. It's a smart pillow that uses noise-canceling technology created by researchers at the Northern University, Illinois. And here's how it works. Built-in microphones monitor for snoring, then counter that noise with sound waves to block it out. And that adaptive algorithm is there when the mild snoring turns into full-on chainsaw in the woods and then adjusts as necessary. This is definitely not the first time somebody's tried to use tech to deal with snoring. I mean, it's been causing strain on relationships for years. I mean, there are special headboards and blankets, but the pillow is the closest to come, they say, to the source of the actual sound. But don't pull out those credit cards yet. It's just a study. They say the product's years away, so you'll need to stick with those earplugs or hit your partner or put a pillow over your head or head to the spare bedroom, not necessarily in that order. All right, this next product for your home from tech is supposed to be for security, but it does have some privacy concerns. You know, Panasonic is building a floor lamp that has a security camera built into it, right in the pole. And this is meant to give homeowners a way to keep an eye on the property in a more subtle way than, say, putting a security camera stuck on a wall or making it hang out on a bookcase. But what about vacation homes? Like, say, through Airbnb or VRBO? There's always been issues there. Well, this isn't exactly a spy camera with a pinhole-sized lens. I mean, it's hiding in plain sight. It's called the Home Hawk Floor. And anytime you're staying at a home that's not yours, you really should just take a close look around. We've got tips on how to spot hidden cameras over at Komando.com. No word out yet when this lamp will be around. A few years ago, you might remember this, Panasonic unveiled the first invisible television. That's right. Perfect for when there's nothing on, and we haven't seen that one either. All right, now a quick lesson from history books about Sir Winston Churchill. He's pretty famous, right? Primarily because he was the British Prime Minister during World War II. He died of a stroke in 1965 at the age of 90. But if you ever find yourself in England, you could take a tour of Churchill's birthplace. It was a home built in the 17th century known as Blenheim Palace. Okay, now at this point, you're probably thinking, what? Is this a travel show? Okay, come on back. This is where Sir Winston Churchill was born in 1874, but now the palace has a robotic tour guide by the name of Betty. The 5-foot robot is programmed to greet visitors, answer their questions, take them on a tour of the grounds, and get this, Betty will even take selfies with you, isn't that great, and upload them to social media. Betty was developed by scientists at Oxford's Department of Engineering Science. And the palace is full of antiques, and so the staff has to make sure that Betty doesn't get too close to anything. Now, Churchill once said, to improve is to change, so to be perfect is to change often. There's a lot of change going on in their palace, but that's not the only museum that's trying to attract visitors. I mean, what about a basic robot when you can have a real robot with artificial intelligence based on the replica of a famous painter? And this painter has been dead for 30 years. Salvador Dali was a surrealist painter who died in 1989 at the age of 84. Well, now at the Dali Museum in St. Petersburg, Florida, they've just unveiled, well, a clone of the late artist that will interact with visitors. The replica was created with archival footage, and it made its debut in a video called Dali Lives on the museum's YouTube page. It's really something. In this short video, it's really difficult to tell that this is not a real person or one of the latest CGI effects used in movies, especially when it says, I do not believe in my death. Do you? Okay, it's obviously not his voice, but since the replica will be able to speak with guests about Dali's life and current events, the exhibit opens in April, and it's appropriately called Dali Lives, Art Meets Artificial Intelligence. I mean, you should go to it if you're in the area. It'll be fun. Don't dilly-dally around. Oh, that was a bad one, I know. In my digital life hack, I'll give you 10 ways to fix your home Wi-Fi, and we'll get back to the phone lines next here on Komando.
In the connected world we live in, our personal information is everywhere. What happens if that information gets in the hands of criminals?
Someone benefited from this. We were the ones on the hook for it. We can't pay a $50,000 bill.
Cyber criminals around the world keep finding new ways to steal your personal information, and it could be right from your personal computer or smartphone. That's why LifeLock includes the power of Norton for even more protection for your identity and your devices, where so much of your personal information lives.
Knowing that Norton and LifeLock are on my side makes me feel even more confident about the protection that I have for my identity.
Monitoring your credit isn't enough to see if your identity is being used by thieves. LifeLock helps you see more threats like your information on the dark web. And now, with the power of Norton, we help defend your personal information on your devices from ransomware, spyware, and more. And if you have an identity theft problem, a U.S.-based restoration agent will work to fix it.
There's a whole team of people that are working on my behalf.
Only LifeLock members are covered by LifeLock's powerful $1 Million protection package, including reimbursement of stolen funds and personal expenses up to the limits of your plan, and lawyers and experts if that's what it takes.
I was covered through my membership, and I received a check for approximately $1,200.
Join for as low as $9.99 a month and get a free shredder with promo code TVOFFER. All memberships include identity threat detection and alerts, with agents working to fix issues, LifeLock's $1 Million protection package, and award-winning Norton security protection for up to 5 devices.
I've got 2 industry leaders to help protect my identity and my devices.
LifeLock with Norton. Call 1-800-456-1530 or visit lifelocktvoffer.com. Use promo code TVOFFER to get a free shredder with annual membership. Call now.
Mark in Sioux City, Iowa. Hi there, Mark.
Hi, Kim. Thank you for taking my call.
You betcha.
I have a question about security for my phone, okay? Recently went out to a pizza place for dinner, right? And we used a credit card and got an email about 10 minutes after we got home about, well, how did you like your meal?
From the restaurant?
From the restaurant. Problem was we never gave them the email address, and it wasn't even my email, but it was associated with the person's credit card who it was their email address.
Okay, all right.
Okay, now, that person did have their phone with them, but they never took it out and used it while they were there. So my question is, what do I do about security for my phone? Or is it my phone? Maybe it's through the credit card company. I don't know.
It's probably through Stripe. That's what I would guess. You know about Stripe?
No, I don't.
Okay. Stripe is a credit card processing company that is used by a lot of smaller restaurants and smaller establishments, which I shouldn't even say smaller anymore, because we've recently switched some of our shop from using Vantiv to using Stripe because it offers more features that we were looking for as far as compatibility with other databases and things like that. But with Stripe as the credit card processor, if you ever use that credit card, and if it was ever used, say, on a website where she gave her email address, then all this data is being accumulated and mined so that the next time that credit card is used, it's going to say, oh, you know, that's Mary. Let's send her an email to see if she liked the pizza.
Oh, really?
Okay, so it's not necessarily the restaurant. It's the restaurant maybe signing up for additional services through Stripe, okay, asking for that automatic email, and maybe even like 30 days from now, she may get an email from the restaurant saying, hey, we haven't seen you in 30 days. Here's $5 off a pepperoni pizza. Because what's happening, Mark, is that because of data, and of course, you know, Facebook and Google and Amazon, everybody's doing data mining, right?
Yeah.
That marketing becomes more of a personalized and individualized situation than just this mass thing where, you know, somebody used to walk around the neighborhood and leave a coupon for the local pizza place on the front door.
Right.
So
what can you do?
She could sign onto her Stripe account. She probably has a Stripe account. She may not even know it, meaning that she may have to reset the password, you know, sign in using her email address and reset. And then she can ask to opt out of third-party offers and retailers' offers. It was probably an automatic opt-in, right? And so now there's no automatic opt-out with many of these companies, is that you have to actually go to their site. You may have to sign in. You may have to look at their terms and conditions and to figure out how you can opt out. It may be as easy as she just gives them her email address at stripe.com. I'm guessing it's Stripe because I've seen this happen myself to me, is that, you know, you go someplace and you're like, hey, I was actually at a farmer's market and I used my credit card And then a couple of days later, I got an email from the guy who was selling me bananas and cantaloupes. And I'm like, how the heck did that happen? And I traced it back to Stripe, and I bet that's where it is, too. So have her go over to stripe.com, look at ways to opt out. It's probably going to be somewhere in their terms and conditions. And, Mark, thank you so much for your call today. How's your Wi-Fi at home? Not so good, right? Well, I'm going to walk you through a checklist of things that you can do to fix it yourself. Next, here on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or send your questions and comments to askkim@komando.com.
I was at a point in my life where I knew something was missing.
I wanted to try to find someone that wanted to experience life together.
My matchmaker was awesome. She asked me a lot of questions that were driven to get to know me better, what my likes were, what my dislikes were.
With over 25 years of experience and millions of matches arranged, It's Just Lunch is the world's #1 personalized matchmaking service.
So I loved working with my matchmaker. I would give feedback after every date.
I'm a busy man. I own my own business. It's Just Lunch set everything up. They set up the restaurant, they set up the date. They made it simple. I am so glad I met this amazing woman.
Because It's Just Lunch believes that meeting face-to-face is the best way to tell if there's true chemistry. We guarantee you'll go on dates.
I went to It's Just Lunch, and it's Lori and a whole lot more.
Find out what our matchmakers can do for you. Call 1-800-756-0949 or visit itsjustlunch.com. It's just lunch, but imagine the possibilities.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. The Center for Medicare Services has officially authorized new benefits Medicare Advantage plans may include. Plans may now include private home aids and rides to medical appointments. Most plans also include dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage. To get the benefits you deserve, call the Medicare Coverage Helpline now.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline, and they instantly advised me that I wasn't getting all the benefits I deserved. They explained I could get a plan that includes dental and prescription coverage, as well as the new coverage for private home aids and rides to medical appointments. If you want to find out what you deserve, call the number on your screen now. It's free. You'll be happy you called, I guarantee it.
Call to see if you can save money and get more benefits now. Don't delay. Call now. It's free.
Call 1-800-811-8680. That's 1-800-811-8680.
Alrighty, in this week's Digital Life Hacks tip, it's all about your Wi-Fi, right? How many times have you walked around the house going, oh gosh, Wi-Fi is so annoying, isn't it? I mean, why can't I get more bars in more places? Or when you suddenly sit down to watch something streaming and then it just kind of craps out, you know, you get that buffering message. So this week's Digital Life Hacks tip, it's thorough, it's complete. It's everything that you need to do to fix your Wi-Fi for once and all and for good. And we're going to start at the very beginning where you're going to be checking out your router. And then we're going to tell you how to get into the admin console. Don't freak out and say, oh, I'm not a techno geek. I don't know how to do that. We're going to walk you through step by step. And we're going to update the router software while we're there. Then we're going to look for Wi-Fi interference because that can be a real downer. If we do have any, we're going to tell you how to change the channels on your Mac and Windows. And what about the band? Do we want 2.4 gigahertz spectrum or 5? Well, don't worry, we'll help you with that too. What about your security? Do you want WPA, WPA2, TKIP, WPA2 with AES? Yes, it gets confusing. Don't worry, we'll decipher it for you. We're going to tell you how you can change the location of the router, how you can put the kids and the guests on their own network so that this way they can't get to your files. Going to tell you how to get an updated modem or a better router if we can't fix that one. And then finally, mesh is the word. What do you mean mesh is the word? Mesh is a new type of network that if you've got a home bigger than 2,500 square feet, this is the handy-dandy solution for you. For all these 10 tricks to go ahead and fix that Wi-Fi for good, head over to Komando.com. That's, of course, Komando.com. Hit that Show Picks button right on the homepage. Homeowners, beware. A data breach just exposed 24 million of you to title fraud, a crime that could cost you your home. I've seen it firsthand, and I'll tell you how to find out if you're a victim. If you have a mortgage, a refi, or a HELOC through a major bank, this breach may have put you at risk of losing every dollar of equity you have in your home, and even your home. They forge your signature as the seller, refile your home under a new name, take out loans on your home, and stick you with the payments. You won't know until late payment notices or an eviction order shows up. Your bank doesn't protect you, and neither does insurance or identity theft programs. For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will. Home Title Lock protects my home, and you need it too. Check now to see if you're already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and register for your free title scan and report. A $100 value free with sign up. Visit HomeTitleLock.com. That's HomeTitleLock.com. All right, it's time now for our official money tip. We put one of these together for you every single week. And this week, I know it's not fun to think about, but yes, you have to do your taxes. And so when you start thinking about doing your taxes online, I mean, there are so many different sites to choose from. So in this week's money tip, we go through site by site, trying to give you an idea of which site, which service is the best one for you to use. Like, first up, if it's your first time doing your taxes ever, TurboTax is probably the one for you. It can do most of the work for you, especially if you have a simple return, as you also have the free edition. There's also Deluxe and Premier. I'm just going through some of the highlights here on the show. Of course, you can always get more information in this particular tip on the site. If you need help filing, you want to turn to the pros, maybe at H&R Block. You can file taxes online and add support from a tax pro at any point in the process. Free online option is best with those with a W-2, with or without children, and rent the place that you live. Of course, there's also Deluxe Premium Self-Employed. We have, of course, all the pricing for you, too. If you choose to go with TaxAct, you may be able to receive a bonus with your tax refund. They're offering up to a $100 refund bonus by putting part of your refund on gift cards from a list of popular retailers. Next up, Tax Slayer. And basically, if you want peace of mind that comes with identity protection, you might want to take a look at them. There are 5 different options to choose from. The ultimate package includes tax audit defense as well. And finally, Jackson Hewitt offers step-by-step preparation along with unlimited online support. Their free option is best for filers with simple returns with up to $100,000 taxable income. Of course, they have different tiers and pricing as well. So Facebook got caught again. What was it this time? Well, I'll have the answer in my closing thoughts next here on Komando.
I was at a point in my life where I knew something was missing.
I wanted to try to find someone that wanted to experience life together.
My matchmaker was awesome. She asked me a lot of questions that were driven to get to know me better, what my likes were, what my dislikes were.
With over 25 years of experience and millions of matches arranged, It's Just Lunch is the world's #1 personalized matchmaking service.
So I loved working with my matchmaker. I would give feedback after every date.
I'm a busy man. I own my own business. It's Just Lunch set everything up. They set up the restaurant. They set up the date. They made it simple. I am so glad I met this amazing woman.
Because It's Just Lunch believes that meeting face-to-face is the best way to tell if there's true chemistry. We guarantee you'll go on dates.
I went to It's Just Lunch, and it's Lori and a whole lot more.
Find out what our matchmakers can do for you. Call 1-800-756-0949 or visit itsjustlunch.com. It's just lunch, but imagine the possibilities.
Like many other companies, we create a lot of data, and all that data needs to be stored somewhere safe. It was starting to get pretty expensive, and then we discovered Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. It's so affordable, it blows away all other forms of cloud storage. Less than just the annual maintenance cost of on-site storage. Wasabi is at least 80% less expensive than Amazon S3, with no charges for API requests. Wasabi's lightning fast. On average, it's 6 times faster than Amazon S3. When we need to retrieve a show from storage, it's almost instant. Unlike other companies, they don't charge me to get my own data. We don't have to guess what we'll be spending on storage each year. Because it's so fast and cheap, they have just one tier of service. Compare that to Amazon's S3, which you need a PhD in cloud storage to figure out what tiers to use and when. Wasabi's been a game changer for us. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup weed killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
Well, Facebook got caught again with its dirty hands in the data cookie jar. Facebook asked adults and teens to install a VPN called Facebook Research that sent your photos, your texts, your apps, any videos, your browsing history, private messages, location, really just about anything you do on your phone back to Facebook's massive data servers. Now, Facebook did pay people using the app $20 a month, so some folks say, hey, they had to know about all the tracking. Well, let me tell you, all your data and tracking is worth a lot more than just $20 a month. Plus, when is the last time you actually read an app's terms and conditions? Remove this tracking app if you installed it, and while you're at it, take a look at all the apps connected with your Facebook profile and wipe them out too. Oh, and this is interesting. The Wall Street Journal recently posted an op-ed by Mark Zuckerberg where he basically whined that people don't trust Facebook because they simply don't understand it. No, Mark, I think we understand it all too well. You'll do anything for the almighty dollar. I'm Kim Komando. Hey, thanks for watching. You can find more digital news and lifestyle tips 24/7 at my website. That's komando.com.